Chance of snow, low near 13. Friday, cloudy with a few sunny breaks, high of 32. Friday night, partly cloudy, low of 17. Saturday, sunny, high of 39. That's your forecast on Kim Radio Talk. That matters. Right now, it's 27.
This is where South Dakota sports fans come for real South Dakota sports talk. Welcome to SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown. From East River to West River, high school to college to the pros. This is your sports talk show that covers it all. And now, on Kim Radio, talk that matters. The host of SD Sports Buzz Tonight, here's Nate Brown.
Hey, welcome back in. Glad to have you back in. 2 hours of South Dakota Sports Talk Show ready to go on this Wednesday. And, of course, tournament basketball already upon us in girls hoops. The boys' tournament basketball gets started in earnest next week. We welcome you into SD Sports Buzz Tonight. Wednesday is Rapid City's Talk Show. And it's great to have you on board SDSportsBuzz.com as well. Wherever you may be watching, listening, we appreciate it on SDSportsBuzz.com and also Kim Radio, Talk That Matters, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Rapid City's talk station. Over the next 2 hours, let's go through the guest lineup. We'll have number one ranked team in South Dakota high school basketball in Class B, their head coach, White River's Eldon Marshall tonight. He'll join us talk about White River's tight win over James Valley Christian. It was number one against number two in Class B hoops, a 3-point win for the Tigers. Eldon Marshall joins us as White River still only has one loss on the year. That was to a team out of Minnesota, so nobody in South Dakota has beaten White River yet. Eldon Marshall getting his guys ready for tournament basketball. Also, a huge basketball game Thursday night. Tomorrow night at Rapid City Central. There's 3 district championships at Rapid City Central for the girls scene, but one everybody has their eyes on, and that would be St. Thomas More against Spearfish, round 3. Of course, the Lady Cavaliers win it by 2 in the first game. They get beat by 11 on the road by Spearfish, and now the winner of this one tomorrow night in the District 16A championship goes to the region championship, which more than likely is going to be an easier game. I'm not going to, discredit that next game, that next step to get to state, but everybody has their eye on this district championship. Spearfish, St. Thomas More tomorrow night, and we'll talk to St. Thomas More's head coach Brandon Kandolin of the defending state champions in Class A, and Spearfish's first-year head coach, Eric Lappe. He's done a nice job. He has 6 seniors on this club, and Spearfish, a very good girls basketball team. Both of those coaches join us tonight with a preview of the big Thursday night district championship. Padraic Duffy of the Rapid City Journal, our basketball expert. He doesn't like me to refer to him as that, but we always break down hoops with Padraic Duffy of the Rapid City Journal, and our Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame Spotlight tonight brought to you by the Rapid City Sports Officials. A Hall of Fame Spotlight focusing on a baseball great from Rapid City, went on to be an All-American in college, was drafted in the 4th round by the Angels, the California Angels back in the day, Bill Ewing. One of the all-time greats out of Post 22, by the way, and then one of the all-time best baseball players in South Dakota. And we've had some great ones. Now, there's no doubt about it. Some big leaguers, whether it be Dave Collins or Mark Ellis most recently. Bill Ewing, a great baseball career, was inducted in the Rapid City Hall of Fame in 2003. And he'll join us tonight, talk about his career, talk about some current topics in the current baseball scene as well. And then the legend, Larry Luitjens. We haven't had him on the show nearly enough. And I visited with him at that St. Thomas More game a couple of weeks ago. Larry Luitjens was a regular on this show, the all-time winningest coach in South Dakota high school basketball. We got to get him back on because Custer has gotten better throughout the year. Nobody's really focusing on Custer. But when it comes to tournament time, it seems like the Wildcats are always there. Seems like Larry Luitjens always has them ready. He'll join us as we get things started. Larry Luitjens and Custer, big regular season finale coming up on Friday against Spearfish. That'll be an interesting one to watch. Custer, Spearfish, their first game was pretty tight, and now the Wildcats have to hit the road and take on Spearfish on Friday, and Larry Luitjens will join us. So a lot of high school hoops tonight, whether it be tournament basketball, wrapping up the regular season, a great Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame spotlight getting ready to go. The opening buzz, I want to start with this. Because it is tournament time, and I really haven't put out any projections. Now, I do a lot of play-by-play, so I don't want to get into predicting winners of games that I'm covering. I just don't like doing that as the broadcaster of the game, but I want to get out some projections before I start covering all these tournament games. So just like Craig Maddock last week from KWSN Sioux Falls Sports Radio, he predicted who he thought was going to make some runs in the tournament, and I'll throw it out here right now. And I want to start right away in AA girls, and then we'll work our way down. I'm not as familiar with Class B girls. I'm a little bit familiar with Class B boys, so I'll start with AA girls, and I start right here in District 4 AA, Central, Stevens, Sturgis, Douglas. Well, it's one of those years where it seems Central is the best team again, and Coach Bloom has done a solid job there over the years, so it seems the Lady Cobblers are the best team again in this district, but for me they're a little inconsistent, and I think you've watched that, Cobbler fans, if you've watched Rapid City Central girls basketball. The Lady Cobblers, a little inconsistent, pretty talented, pretty good in a lot of games, but then sometimes it's hit or miss. So I will say this, I think Rapid City Central on the girls' side wins this district and gets into the state AA girls tournament, which, by the way, the state AA tournament's out here in Rapid City at the Rushmore Plaza Civic Center. I think the Lady Cobblers will make it that far. Will a team like Sturgis be able to battle through a region? Will they be able to battle through a region? I think it's going to be tough. It's not going to be impossible. I think it's going to be tough. And, long story short, I think on the boys' side, as much as West River basketball gets downgraded sometimes by the East River folks, and believe me, I've talked to them a lot. I just went on a radio show today in Sioux Falls, and they're talking about, well, what's happening out there in the AA scene especially. Because they look, who's going to be good on the girls' side when it comes to the tournament, who's going to be making a run on the boys' side. So they're really having Central, Stevens, Sturgis really off the radar when it comes to statewide. And I've tried pointing out that just hold the phone for a second, because it's not like all the AA teams that are going to get in the state AA boys tournament. It's not like all of those teams are great teams with great records. I mean, when you break it down, 8 teams out of 16 obviously make it. So amongst those 8, you're going to have some teams that are sub 500 records. You're going to have some other teams, maybe 2 more, that are just barely above 500, just eking above 500. So it's not like you've got great teams. To me, it looks this way in AA boys basketball, and I could be wrong, but here's how it looks simply. It looks to be Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, and Pierre, and really everybody else. I know Brookings knocked off Pierre. Pierre has some losses. I know Brandon Valley has played well against some teams. I'm not locking them in the state championship, but right now they would be number 1 and number 2 seed, and it really doesn't seem like we're going to get that big surprise in the AA tournament, especially on the boys' side. To me, it seems like you're going to have Roosevelt and Pierre. We'll see how it all plays out. Obviously, the state tournament field's not set. There's a lot of district games and region games to be had, but that's the way it seems. So when I come back to this scene here in AA boys basketball, I put it this way to the folks in Sioux Falls today. As much as Rapid City Central, Stevens, Sturgis, maybe not on their radar, one of those teams is going to win the district, so they're in. And honestly, I can't tell you who right now. I said I was going to get into my projections, right? So I got to give a projection. It seems as though Rapid City Central has the most talent. It seems as though Rapid City Stevens, to me, playing the best. So take that for what it's worth. Central has maybe a little more talent, some obviously more size on the interior when it comes to rebounding, when it comes to defense and scoring on the interior. But I also say this as I watch Rapid City Stevens knock off the Cobblers on the road last week. Rapid City Stevens is playing the best basketball they've played since I've seen them all year, and they're playing the best out of all these teams out here. So I don't know who's going to win this district. One of them's going to get in. And then I will say this. It would not surprise me whatsoever if, let's say, it's a Central or a Stevens or even a Sturgis that comes out and then has to go and they'll get to host a region game. They're going to get to host a region game, being the number 2 seed out of District 4 AA, losing the championship and hosting a region game. I believe Sturgis or Stevens or Central, whoever that may be, could also get into the tournament because they're going to have to face a team like Aberdeen Central, but it'll be here at home. So as much as some of these West River teams that maybe aren't on the radar, the East River folks, District 3 is not very strong. Nobody's talking about that. Everybody's saying, oh, look at District 4. You got teams below 500. Well, District 3, outside of Pierre, and I guess I'll give you Huron, who's fairly good sometimes, they're not very good either. I'm telling you, Aberdeen Central, they were already beaten by Stevens. Mitchell, we've seen that happen as well. Sturgis beat Mitchell. Spearfish beat Mitchell. So my projection is this. I think one team in AA girls gets in. Maybe if a Stevens or Sturgis can surprise somebody, maybe. On the AA boys side, I think 2 teams get in. If the tournament scenario comes to fruition that I'm thinking, I think 2 teams in the AA District 4AA out here on the boys side get in. And maybe even 3. It would have to be an upset. It would have to be a team like maybe Sturgis with those young sophomores going on the road and beating a team like Huron on the road. But it could happen. Sturgis was competitive against Huron just a few weeks ago at home. Not going to give the AA boys 3 out here in, but I think I'm going to give them 2. And then it comes down to Class A hoops, and we'll start with Larry Luitjens. He'll have his own ideas, and I want to get his perspective. But on the Class A girls, we know the big game is tomorrow night. Spearfish, St. Thomas More, absolutely huge game at Rapid City Central, 7:30 start time. Whoever wins that one, believe me, is a state championship contender. Whoever wins that game tomorrow night's a state championship contender. And I haven't went as far as to say it is the state championship tomorrow night. I can't go there because there is a 19-1 Harrisburg team out east that's very, very good. There's some other teams that are very solid. But I will say this, Spearfish and St. Thomas More, to me, are top 3 teams. Pine Ridge, also a team that is a top 5 team. So we've got, to me, 3 West River teams right here in this vicinity that are top 5 Class A girls basketball teams. I think Pine Ridge will make that state tournament. They're in a separate region as Spearfish and St. Thomas More. And whoever wins that Spearfish St. Thomas More girls game tomorrow night is a state championship contender. If it ends up being St. Thomas More, I think the Lady Cavaliers get to the state title game. If it ends up being Spearfish tomorrow night, I think Spearfish gets to the state title game. That's how good those 2 teams are. That's how big that game is tomorrow. And then finally, Class A boys, the region is up for grabs, West River. St. Thomas More, to me, has the edge. They've been to 3 straight state championship games. They've won 4 state titles out of the past 7 years. It's just a constantly reloading program with Dave Hollenbeck at the helm, who gets the most out of everybody, who is one of the best coaches in South Dakota, arguably in the past decade, the best coach in South Dakota. You might even throw in a guy like Derek Roby, who has won 3 straight championships at Sioux Falls O'Gorman. But St. Thomas More, with nobody back from last year's state title team, only 1 loss on the year, but it's a tough road to get out of here. It is a tough road. Spearfish, to me, is still a very good top 5, I think top 5 Class A basketball team. And some people may say, oh, you stepped way over the bounds on that. Spearfish has some losses. They're inconsistent. When they put it together, their 9 seniors, their talent, if they hit shots, that's critical. If Spearfish hits their 3-point shots, namely, because they take a lot of them, they are as dangerous as anybody I've seen in Class A hoops. Sioux Falls Christian, great. Clark is good. You know that. They just nipped the Cavaliers. That was St. Thomas More's only loss. St. Thomas More is great. And I know Madison's very good, but I'm telling you, Spearfish has to be in the thick of it. Because when you get into that top 5, you're thinking, well, is Spearfish as good as T area, or is Spearfish as good as Dakota Valley, or somebody like this that has a great record back east? And to me, they are. So it turns out to be another district clash. I think we're going to see it next week. Actually, it'll be 1 week from tomorrow. Spearfish St. Thomas More on the boys' side, and that one will be very, very good one to watch. And then it doesn't get any easier. Whoever wins that will more than likely face the winner of Red Cloud Custer to get out of the region. I said this region out here, Custer, Red Cloud, Spearfish, St. Thomas More, and boys basketball, I feel either the best region in the state or the second best behind the other region that has Sioux Falls Christian, Madison, and Del Rapids. They got a tight region there as well. But believe me, I don't know who's coming out of here on the Class A boys side. I said St. Thomas More has the edge. They've played consistently, and they're just so good defensively. The number one defensive team in the state. But could they get knocked off? They could. It's a possibility. It's going to be exciting tournament basketball, believe me, and we get started tomorrow night. Big-time girls basketball game. We'll talk to both of those coaches, St. Thomas More and Spearfish, coming up in a girls Class A clash. But first, let's talk boys hoops as the tournament approaches. Larry Luitjens, head coach of the Custer Wildcats, all-time winningest coach in South Dakota, joins us next on SD Sports Buzz Tonight.
And 200, 2 and a quarter, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, 50, money, get 250 here, 75, 275, now 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at McPhersonAuction.com.
Sold it here for $575.
Real South Dakota sports talk for real South Dakota sports fans. This is SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters. Listen to what Pro Auto Care customers have to say.
I go to Tom because he's there for me. I have 7 vehicles on the road on a daily basis, and I know that if something goes on, he'll fix it. He'll fix it right the first time, and if we have an issue with a part, he'll stand behind it. I mean, if we had a part fail that he installed, he'd get the new part and he would install it again, and I'd only pay for it once. Everybody that I know that needs work on their car, I say this is the only place I would go.
Pro Auto Care. Phone 342-0857, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City.
Delicious food and lots of fun. Quench more than your thirst at Thirsties.
Anytime's a good time for a great time at Thirsties. Come on down to Thirsties on Wednesday night and test your knowledge with Battle of the Brains trivia and enjoy a delicious meal off that world-famous Thirsties menu. Thirsties, 819 Main, downtown.
Come on in and quench more than your thirst at Thirsties. Sure tastes good. It's always something.
You wouldn't take a long drive without checking the oil, gas, fluids, and tires. Maybe you should check your auto insurance, too.
Fill her up? No, just check the deductible.
Talk to your independent agent. We're driven to get you the best rate. Fisher Rounds & Associates Insurance. It's always something.
It's always something.
Fisher Rounds & Associates, Rapid City. Phone 737-7865.
Every week, you hear something in the news about low interest rates, and some of the talk can be downright confusing or even misleading. How do you separate the hype from the truth? Call Premier Home Mortgage. They can help you refinance your home or help you with that credit card debt. And they'll break it down for you in terms we can all understand and not mumbo jumbo. Give Premier Home Mortgage a call right now at 716-7373 or go online to premierhomemortgage.com. Premier Home Mortgage. Fast, simple, and smart.
At Mel's Auto Body, we are committed to providing complete customer satisfaction through our repairs, competitive prices, and old-fashioned personalized service. This is Kevin Rohrbach. For 25 years, our family has been dedicated to returning your vehicle to its like-new condition. We use state-of-the-art equipment, highly trained techs, and work with all insurance companies to get the job done right, 100% guaranteed. Remember, you have the right to choose your body shop. We hope you choose Mel's Auto Body, located under the Big Red M on South Valley Drive in Rapid City. Check us out online at melsautobody.com.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show, SD Sports Buzz tonight. Back every Wednesday, 2 hours with South Dakota's biggest sports newsmakers, Nate Brown on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. It's Kim Talk Radio, Rapid City's talk station. Also online streaming live in HD video at sdsportsbuzz.com. If sdsportsbuzz.com isn't your homepage, or if you don't visit it on a daily basis, you're missing out on everything South Dakota sports. If you're a South Dakota high school sports fan, sdsportsbuzz.com, there's no place like it on the web. Coming up, Padraic Duffy of the Rapid City Journal. A little preview of some tournament basketball. Big girls matchup tomorrow night, Spearfish St. Thomas More. We'll talk to both head coaches, Brandon Kandolin of St. Thomas More, Eric Lappe of Spearfish. Also tonight, White River's number 1 ranked head coach, Eldon Marshall. Yeah, White River just got by James Valley Christian in a tight one. White River only 1 loss on the year. The Tigers looking to make another run into the state championship. You want to talk about state championship runs. Man, oh man. Eldon Marshall and White River trying to get to their 6th in a row. Trying to get to their 6th state title game in a row. Just unbelievable run by White River. They've been in 5 in a row, looking for 6 straight. Eldon Marshall joins us. A lot to get to, including a Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame Spotlight tonight. The Hall of Fame Spotlight on tonight's program, the legendary baseball player from Rapid City that was picked up by the California Angels in the 4th round, is set an all-time single-season record for the most home runs in college baseball at the University of Wyoming, Bill Ewing. Bill Ewing tonight joining us, talking Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame and talking a little baseball about his career as well. We had John Dutton on last week. That was a great conversation. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it with John Dutton. I still say, you could argue the best South Dakota football player. Man, oh man. Still the highest draft pick in professional sports out of any South Dakotan. John Dutton, if you missed that interview, we have it right there on sdsportsbuzz.com. So you can go there, you can listen to John Dutton, and, of course, we'll have Bill Ewing tonight. And, by the way, if you miss any guests tonight, we put them in podcast form right there. So you want to get a rundown of all the hoops that we're talking about tonight, go to sdsportsbuzz.com after tonight's program, and you can listen to a podcast, including the all-time winningest coach in South Dakota high school basketball, Larry Luitjens. I said it at the beginning, Coach. We haven't got you on the show enough. I mean, we're almost to tournament time, so I said I got to get him back-to-back here. I got to get him back on, and Custer's back, and I have to say, I look at you guys. You're 11-8. I say you're back. I know you're probably going to say, well, we should be even better than that. But it seems as though you're playing well right now. It seems as though you're playing better basketball. Am I right on that? What's your feel on it?
Yeah, I think we're playing better right now. I mean, we played Hill City last night, and we played well. And I know that Blake's having a tough year at Hill City, and they're not real strong. But we played well. We played well, and everybody played well. So it was kind of exciting for the old coach to see that.
I do want to ask you about how this season has transpired. You guys are 11-8. I think you're better than your record. You have a tough stretch there. If people don't know it, you were playing without Cody Martins, your point guard, one of your scorers, one of your facilitators. How tough was it to play without him? And now that he's back, does that make you a totally different team?
Oh yeah. We are a totally different team because he can. Not only can he score, he scores well, but he also plays good defense too, and we really missed him on both sides of the ball, and it is good to have him back. I don't think I realized how tough it would be when he went out, and until we started playing games, and it was really tough.
Yeah, no question about it. I want to get your feeling on this, Coach. Larry Luitjens tonight talking high school hoops. They have a regular season finale coming up Friday night in Spearfish against a tough Spartan club. Give us a perspective on, I said it today, I went on a Sioux Falls radio show and said, I think this region out here, as we get ready for the tournament starting next week, and the districts first and then the region if you make it that far, this region with Red Cloud, your team, St. Thomas More, and Spearfish, I said is either the toughest in Class A boys basketball, or I'll give it the second toughest, maybe behind that region with Sioux Falls Christian, Del Rapids, and Madison. What's your take on it? Do you think it's the toughest?
Well, I mean, of course I do. But I think that St. Thomas More, Spearfish, and Red Cloud can beat anybody, in the state. And when you got, when you know that in order to win, you've got to go through two of those three teams, you're going to be playing a tough region.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I don't know who's going to come out of here. I said I was going to make some projections tonight, Coach, and I said, no, I can't project that one. That's a tough one. Let's get to it. Friday night, you go up to Spearfish. This was a team that you competed against pretty well, I thought, in the second game of the year. I covered that game. You lost it by 8 at home, but it was pretty tight. When you look at Spearfish, what makes Spearfish so good? They've got 9 seniors. That obviously is a big plus.
Well, it is a big plus, and there's no doubt about it. And when you got 9 seniors and you got a great coach, you've got a good combination there, and that's what they have. And they have that depth. They can shoot the ball well. They're very athletic. They can get up and down. They play kind of the double-A ball. I mean, they're right there in the passing lanes, and they're a fun team to play. I mean, this game, it'll be more fun this game than it would be if we were playing them for the region. That would be more serious then, probably.
Yeah, I know it. You're going to try and have fun wrapping up the regular season, but it is an important game for you, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You talk to your guys about, well, we could face these guys again. You don't want to look ahead, but important game, a tough game to wrap up the regular season. Is that a good matchup for you to get ready for tournament basketball? Because Spearfish does push you to the limit.
Well, I think so. I mean, you're going to have to use everything that you have in order to compete. That's not even to win; that's to compete with them. And so, I mean, it's a great game to have, it's better than playing somebody that you're definitely a lot better than, and you just go through the motions. You're not going to go through the motions with Spearfish.
Custer head coach Larry Luitjens tonight on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Wildcats 11-8. They get ready to play Spearfish Friday night. How does Spearfish compare to some of the tougher teams you played? Who's the toughest team you faced, Coach? Red Cloud, Spearfish, or St. Thomas More? Or did I hit any of them?
Well, they all no. I mean, those are the 3 best teams that we've played, and for me to say, well, this one was better, I don't know if I can. I really don't know, because when they played us, all 3 of them played really well. Now we played Red Cloud without Martins, and that made a difference. But I mentioned to you before, and I guess I mentioned to the Journal, I think that STM's playing the best defense they've played, and I think I saw that David been there 17 years. I think this is his best defensive team, and he's not going to say that. I mean, coaches don't say that. They don't say this is better than that one or something like that. But they're really good defensively, and they don't turn the ball over. They handle the ball. They got 5 guys on the floor that can shoot the ball. That's a pretty good basketball team.
Yeah, no doubt. I wanted to hit on that really quick because I know you said it to me, and then right away you also said it to the Rapid City Journal that you think this is the best defensive team St. Thomas More has had. They've had a lot of good basketball teams, as you know, in the past decade here. You had a great stretch leading up to that. Then they've kind of had their run. They've had some great teams. Why do you think this is the best defensive team? What do they do the best?
I think what they do the best is they play together. You always, as a coach, you're telling your kids, you got to talk, you got to talk, you got to talk. They talk. They do it. That's a credit to their coaching staff. But they do. They talk, and they're very athletic, and so you don't get an easy peek against them, and it's more fun to watch them if they're playing somebody else than when they're playing you. But, I mean, they're good.
Yeah, I believe it. Before I let you run, Coach, you're getting ready for Spearfish, wrapping up the regular season. Spearfish to me as a team, I don't want to say hit or miss, but when they hit threes, they take a lot of threes. When they hit their threes, that's really going to help them out. That says it all right there. Yeah, if you hit your threes, you're going to win a lot of games, but it is critical for them. They shoot a lot. They get a lot of possessions. Is it one of those games that is hard for your guys to slow down? You like controlling the tempo, slowing it down a little bit. Spearfish just wants to get in a running track meet on Friday night.
Yeah, we'll probably run with them a little bit, or try to. I mean, you don't run with Spearfish, but we'll try to run with them, and we kind of live and die on the 3-2, and so it could be an interesting game. Maybe we'll set a new state record for the most threes.
I'll tell you what, I don't know. I don't know about that because I was already at any game. Sturgis and Rapid City Central shot 56 threes combined. So can you match that? You can't match that, right? All right.
We probably won't break that.
I thought there's a little basketball tidbit for you. I got you on something. I gave you Larry Luitjens a basketball fact that you did not know.
I didn't.
56 threes in the Central Sturgis boys game earlier in the year.
That's unbelievable. Should
be an interesting one, no doubt about it. I do want to get your feel on this before I let you run. Tournament time, you guys are always good. You guys always get your team prepared. When it comes to the tournament, what do you tell your guys? Why have you been a good tournament team, Coach? Why do you think your guys have always been playing the best, it seems like, for the most part, when it comes tournament time?
Well, I think it goes back, to play defense. You have to play defense, and we've been fortunate, I think, over the years to play our best defense at the end of the year, and that's, I guess, what it should be, but it doesn't always happen that way. And I wasn't sure it was going to happen that way this year, but I think it is.
It should be interesting to watch. I know a lot of people have your eyes on Friday night, wrapping up the regular season against Spearfish, and then, of course, getting into district tournament play right away next week. Coach, we'll talk to you again. Hope to see you down the road here. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, Nate, it's always a pleasure talking with you. Have a great one.
Thanks. Larry Luitjens, Custer head coach. The Wildcats 11-8, 11-8, better than that. They really aren't on anybody's radar unless you've kind of covered them like I have in quite a few games. They really aren't on anybody's radar, and partly because they're in St. Thomas More's region. They haven't been able to get over the top of St. Thomas More for a long time. So maybe rightly so that they're not on anybody's radar as far as being a contender, but I will say it is not a gimme for Spearfish or St. Thomas More. Whoever comes out of that district side, if they have Custer or, for that matter, Red Cloud in the region championship, those are not gimme games by any means. I mean, this is a tough road. Whoever comes out of here, out of this region, I already said I think St. Thomas More has the edge, and they have over the years. It's going to be a very good performance in the state tournament. If it's St. Thomas More or whoever it is, I think it could be a very good performance in the state tournament. That's how good this region is out here. Larry Luitjens, all-time winningest coach in South Dakota, over 630 wins now. Over 630 wins. We're going to come back. Speaking of a legend himself, our Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame Spotlight focused in today on Bill Ewing. Bill Ewing, one of the all-time baseball greats, one of the all-time greats out of Rapid City. I mean, you think about, there's guys that have made the big leagues, Mark Ellis most recently. You think about Dave Collins. Bill Ewing was on his way till a shoulder injury. But let me tell you, the career up to that point, very impressive. We'll talk about it and get Bill Ewing's thoughts. It's the Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame Spotlight, one of the best all-time baseball players out of Rapid City. Joining us next on SD Sports Buzz Tonight.
With winter finally here, wouldn't it be nice to have the assurance of an all-wheel drive car? But what about gas prices? Subaru has you covered. Get the road-gripping traction of symmetrical all-wheel drive with up to 36 miles per gallon in the Impreza. If you need more room and more ground clearance, check out the Outback with 8.7 inches of clearance, cargo capacity to rival many SUVs, and 30 miles per gallon highway. Why compromise? See the most fuel-efficient lineup of cars in America at Courtesy Subaru at the corner of Omaha and LaCrosse Streets or at courtesysubaru.com.
And 200, 2 and a quarter, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, VP, money get 250 here, no 75, 275 now, 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at McPhersonAuction.com.
Sold it here for $575.
You're listening to SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
At Mel's Auto Body, we are committed to providing complete customer satisfaction through our repairs, competitive prices, and old-fashioned personalized service. This is Kevin Rohrbach. For 25 years, our family has been dedicated to returning your vehicle to its like-new condition. We use state-of-the-art equipment, highly trained techs, and work with all insurance companies to get the job done right, 100% guaranteed. Remember, you have the right to choose your body shop. We hope you choose Mel's Auto Body, located under the Big Red M on South Valley Drive in Rapid City. Check us out online at melsautobody.com.
Delicious food and lots of fun. Quench more than your thirst at Thirsties.
Anytime's a good time for a great time at Thirsties. Come on down to Thirsties on Wednesday night and test your knowledge with Battle of the Brains trivia and enjoy a delicious meal off that world-famous Thirsties menu. Thirsties, 819 Main, downtown.
Come on in and quench more than your thirst at Thirsties. Sure tastes good.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. It's SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Kim Talk Radio, Rapid City's talk station. Also online streaming live in HD at sdsportsbuzz.com. If you miss any guests tonight, I want to remind you, go to South Dakota's #1 sports website, sdsportsbuzz.com. If you don't go to sdsportsbuzz.com right now, it's a place you need to get if you're a South Dakota sports fan. We put all of our guests in podcast form right there on sdsportsbuzz.com. So after tonight's program wraps up, we'll get all the guests in podcast form tomorrow morning, so you can listen to each interview at your own convenience. Of course, on sdsportsbuzz.com, a big feature when it comes to the Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame. Every week on the program, we're doing a Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame Spotlight brought to you by the Rapid City Sports Officials. They're celebrating 41 years of doing great things when it comes to the Rapid City sports community. The Rapid City Sports Officials celebrating 41 years, and we're glad to do a feature every week. Last week it was John Dutton, one of the all-time great football players. Not only, he's the best football player out of Rapid City, I can say that, arguably the best out of South Dakota ever. John Dutton joined us from Dallas last week. His interview's up there. We also talked to the great track athlete Scott Benson, an All-American, and went on and was on the verge of the Olympics, basically. Some great athletes out of Rapid City, and, of course, a guy that we haven't talked to yet, and a sport we haven't hit on yet is baseball. One of the all-time baseball greats out of Rapid City, Bill Ewing, joining us in the Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame Spotlight. Bill, it's good to talk to you. How are you?
I'm good, Nate. Good to be here with you.
Yeah, I know it's one of those things where you probably haven't had to do an interview for quite some time, right, Bill? Nobody's had to.
Kind of the dinosaurs. They kind of extinct here for a while.
Hey, that's what John Dutton told me last week. He said, "Why are you calling me right now?" And I said, "Hey, we're doing this feature, and I'm learning a lot as I do this about some great Rapid City sports figures, and you of which are one of them. The '72 South Dakota Legion Player of the Year, an All-American at Wyoming, and we'll talk about your career. I want to get right back to when you started playing the game, Bill, because I've asked everybody this as they started their career, as they started in sports, and how far these other athletes went, a lot of these great Rapid City Hall of Fame members. When did you realize, hey, this baseball thing, I think I'll be able to go pretty far and do some pretty good things in baseball?
Well, of course, I was 8 years old when I thought I was going to go far in baseball. But probably my senior year in college, I kind of realized, okay, I think there's going to be at least a career here.
So not until then, you set the Division I record at the time in 1976, 23 home runs in just 52 games. You set the all-time single-season home run record at the University of Wyoming, and you still didn't quite quite realize, you were just starting to realize then that, hey, I might be able to even play baseball past my Wyoming days?
Well, I think, Nate, when I was a junior, when I was selected as the second-team All-American, I realized that there's a high potential right now. But coming from Wyoming, as you know, people don't come up in the cold and look for people. So I was a little bit shocked as a junior that I didn't go. But then as a senior, when I was first-team All-American, then I think during the year I knew I just didn't know how high I would go on a draft or what would happen. So I think more as my senior year in Wyoming, I realized that that is something that was going to happen.
I do want to talk to you about this. Talking to Bill Ewing, all-time great. Started, obviously, at post 22. Went on to the University of Wyoming. Drafted in the 4th round by the California Angels and had a great minor league career until, obviously, an injury. We'll discuss that as well. But go back to post 22. That's where you got started. Post 22, obviously, been around for a very long time. And now your son, Nick Ewing, going to be an assistant coach for Mitch Messer over there. So we'll discuss that. I want to go back to your post-22 days, how you learn things right from the start. And, obviously Dave Plouffe was around for a very long time. I don't even know if people realize Dave Plouffe was your coach, and he coached you right up. So, post-22, what is post-22, the program from its inception and where it continues now with Mitch Messer and your son? What's post-22 done for local baseball?
Well, I think addressing the first question in terms of what it did for me and what it taught me, during that year, or my years at Post 22, we were just taught to win. I never got, no matter what the score was in the game, somehow we just knew we were going to come out on top. And I think they did a good job of somehow building that into us. I was never worried about a game. It just seemed like we were taught to win, and we kind of believed we would. So I think that's something that he had a good ability to do. I think the whole program has been quite a testimony to this city. But I think as you go down, it starts even in younger programs, all the way from Little League on up. We're a baseball town. I think of coaches that helped me when I was 12 years old. And so I think the coaching system all the way through, and then you get to 22, and you just had good, high-quality baseball that in the north here, we just don't get to see that kind of caliber and that kind of competition. So I think it challenged us to know that we could play with the best and many times beat the best. And I think that's what encouraged us to kind of know we could move on.
Obviously, your son, Nick Ewing, the aforementioned Nick Ewing, had some success at Post 22. They had a lot of success as a team. He was right there with Mitch Messer, who he's coaching with now, and he went on to play college baseball. And I want to hit on why is Rapid City a great baseball town? It's kind of a hard question. I mean, you kind of hit on it. The Little Leagues went to the Little League World Series now a couple of times. Just an unbelievable testimony for this size of town, and especially the geographic nature of where we're at. It's not baseball weather up here all the time. Why is Rapid City, do you think, a baseball town? It's always been referred to that for a long time, Bill, as Rapid City's a baseball town.
Well, I think Nate, there's a remnant that hangs in different cities that reflect different talents. I think of wrestling and Sturgis. You think, why in the world does Sturgis continually keep putting out? They have the same athletes in all their other sports. Why is it so big? And I think that it starts out, there's some good things done, some positive things done at a younger age, and then pretty soon there's a remnant that's left, and people want to be associated with it. And so as you look at the different towns, why in the world do different towns seem to somehow excel? And I think Rapid City is one that baseball they did. It was an area that this is what's popular to do. It's an in thing to do. People hung around the parks. Before there was, lights out, we had the Basin League here, and I mean, the town came out to the Basin League, and that was just the place to meet. And so I think a remnant kind of weaves all the way through there, and young kids, they feel proud to be a ball player in this area, and I don't see, especially with the new coaches and new desires to build programs, I don't see it going away. I think it's here to stay.
Rapid City Hall of Fame baseball player, one of the greats, Post 22 at University of Wyoming, went on to play The California Angels minor league system, had averaged over 100 RBIs, averaged 25 home runs, batted over 300 in its first 3 years before the injury when it comes to the minor league play for the California Angels. Bill Ewing joining us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line and the Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame Spotlight, brought to you by the Rapid City Sports officials. This year, they're celebrating 41 years benefiting local Rapid City sports. How about it when your son Nick told you, hey, I want to come back and coach? He was the head coach at Sturgis. I know you helped him out a little bit there, and now he decided to come back and be an assistant with Mitch Messer at Post 22, coming back to the program that he played for. When he told you he was going to do that, obviously the program you played for, what'd you think?
Well, besides that he's taking away time at my work office, I have to work more. I'm sure that I'll kind of be over at the park a little bit more, but I think it's a great dream he's had. I think that having this type of quality of baseball and be able to coach at that level, I think is what Nick has wanted to do. And Nick's always been somebody that's had a great interest in building young men, and baseball is a good platform for that, and he sees this opportunity. So I was really excited for him. I think they'll do a great job. These are young guys that have an interest in building men, young boys into men, and so no better place to do it than where you've played before, and I'll be able to step back on the field from a different perspective. I'm really excited for him and wish the best for all of those coaches.
Just another guest for me to interview. I get Mitch Messer, now I get Bill Ewing, now I can get Nick Ewing. I mean, it just keeps on giving here in the baseball scene on the program. I love it.
A matter of opinion, yeah.
It makes it easy for me. I want to get a couple more for you, Bill, before I let you run, about your career. I want to go to the University of Wyoming. I touched on it. 23 homers, 52 games. You're in the Wyoming Hall of Fame. They inducted you in 2000. You're in the Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame. You got inducted in 2003 here in Rapid City. When you talk about that year at Wyoming, your claim to fame, all-time single-season home run record, that's because you only played 52 games back then. Now they're playing 85, 90, up to 100. I mean, they play a lot more games now. So since now, there's somebody that has obviously passed that. But that's still a high percentage home runs in just 52 games. What was that year like? What was that year like when you think about it, Wyoming?
Well, it's interesting you asked that, because I was just talking to Nick. I had some time alone with him, and I've told my other sons this, literally, it was like playing wiffle ball in the backyard to me, and I don't know why, but it was fun. It was like, let's go out in the backyard and play wiffle ball, and sometimes when you're playing wiffle ball, Nate, you just decide what you're going to do with this ball this time, and that year is the first year that I decided I would start lifting balls when the opportunity was there rather than driving it, and it just, God blessed me, and had some success at it. It was absolutely probably one of the funnest times of my life. I told one person it was kind of like when you shoot skeet with shotguns, and you could step in the box and just say pull. It was just fun. It was outright fun for me to play that year.
It was an unbelievable year, and still a lot of people talk about it. I still find it an unbelievable stretch. When you think about it, 23 homers in just 52 games. You're a first-team All-American, the first out of Wyoming when it comes to baseball Hall of Famers. Now, then you get drafted in the 4th round. Your career is really taking off. You're just on a tear in the first 3 seasons, averaging 25 homers, over 100 RBIs, batting over 300 in your first 3 years. A great start to your professional baseball career. And then an injury, a shoulder injury, and I want to go to that because it's a big time in your life, a big time in your career. What did that change for you? How did you deal with that when it seemed like everything was coming together and then a debilitating injury like that happened?
Well, first of all, it was that 2 years was the stats. The 3rd year was a building year. My injury came after the 2nd year, and so my 3rd year was trying to rehabilitate the entire year. But obviously it was devastating. I think way more devastating to my wife, Nancy. Nancy, I think, loved the game way more than me. I liked the standing in the white box and hitting, but obviously it was devastating. I'm glad I had faith and realized that, okay, that was a great season. It was a great ride. It was a great run. And now there's something else for me. and now I can take these at least experiences and help pass them on to other people. I don't think it was hit me as much until the year after, the next year after, whenever spring training would come, I realized that I missed it during that time. But, as you said at the early part of this interview, that was so long time ago, I can't hardly remember it.
Well, I know it's a lot of people remember like your career. A lot of people even remember watching you here. Dave Plouffe coaching you playing at Post 22, and then of course going on to Wyoming. Now Wyoming doesn't have a baseball program, and I wanted to touch on that a little bit as well. Baseball as a sport still very popular in Rapid City. There's obviously some great college baseball programs, but ratings on TV is going down when it comes to Major League Baseball. In the current state right now, why do you think baseball, as far as ratings on TV, maybe some of the popularity declining a little bit, and football kind of taking over everything?
Well, I feel like just an amateur making a comment on it, but from my opinion, I think we are in a season where there's so much activity going on from, stimuli, from games, video games, and you sit in a game of baseball, and if you know baseball, there's an awful lot going on, and you can sit with somebody that knows it, and it's an exciting thing to kind of see and watch that every play somebody's doing something. But it is not an active game, and I don't think, especially this younger generation, they want activity. They want to go now, everything going at one time, and I also think that we've done injustice to the game by what we've done with the money and with the athletes when before people just played. When I wrote a book, I was telling something about Willie Mays. They used to try to find out where he was after the games, and they'd follow him, and he'd be home playing stickball after the games with the professionals. He liked the stickball more than he did the professionals. It was a game that people loved. It was a game that they enjoyed. Now it just has changed. It's become a business. In my mind, I think there's still a few select that just still play for the love of the game. But I think for those reasons that it has declined. It has gone down, and anybody I talk to, Nate, says, "Oh, it's just such a slow, boring game." And I said, I beg to differ. Come sometime, and I'll show you what's going on at it. But people just don't want it. They're ready to go active and ready to be stimulated.
Before I let you run, Bill Ewing joining us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Good conversation with the all-time Rapid City baseball great in the Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame spotlight. How much is the performance-enhancing drugs story and everything that's come along with that, how much has that hurt the baseball scene?
Well, I'm sure a lot. I know when I played, there was a lot of different types of people taking kind of high greenies to get them up to support all that, and so I think all the publicity that has put in it has tired people. You get anything is on the news today, and so I think it definitely has to have an impact in that. But there were things going on at different times way back then, so I don't know. I can't really say positively on that. It's a shame, but nevertheless, that's what's happened.
What do you tell that kid, Bill, that was just like you? We've seen some good kids come out of here. I mean, we've seen some players go into the majors, whether it's a guy like Mark Ellis that a lot of people still watch, who's had a good career in Major League Baseball. What do you tell that kid who's starting out at a Canyon Lake Little Leaguer or Harney Little League or whoever it may be, and they have some talent, but they also play football, they play basketball, this and that. What do you tell that kid as far as is baseball? When you focus on baseball, do you need to just focus on baseball? As I get to the one sport athletes, or is it beneficial to play everything? Because I know you were a good athlete all the way around.
Well, you're touching on an area that I'm pretty opinionated on. I do not believe that all of the hype and all of the practice that is going into pointing people to one sport has showed or proved itself to be positive. I think Tiger Woods was a good example. Nobody worked as hard as him, tried to do all this kind of stuff, and the more he practiced, actually, the worse he got. I think when you have people that are diversified, can play different things, they get free from that, it is amazing, Nate. There are many, many ball players that I think could have gone on and played the game, but they were so sick and tired of it. When it's just driven into them from young ages. I mean, we're starting kids at 5 now, and I think that then the love of the game is not there anymore. And so I totally am an advocate of people playing diversified sports, taking time off. When you go, then go 100% all in at what you're doing, but also rest well when you rest. I do not see the advantage of everybody playing all the time. And I think it's been proven when they look at it that it really hasn't enhanced things at all. I wish we could convince some of the scouts and some of the people of that. If they just look at the stats, I think they'd see that kind of diversifying, playing seriously when you play, but also breaking when you're done. I'm an advocate for that, and that's just my opinion.
Hey, Bill, I know you had a great career. You had a lot of memories. John Dutton couldn't answer this question because it's kind of a hard one, but I always wrap it up with this. Greatest memory. What's the greatest memory of your baseball career? I know you had obviously a great run at Post 22. You had an unbelievable year at Wyoming, and then even playing professionally for a couple of years. What's something that stands out to you still?
Probably one game at Fort Collins was probably one of the funnest games, and it was one of those times that I felt like everything was all together, and regardless of it, the pitchers would be nervous because I was in the lead for the national home run, so it seems like they would try harder and they would throw the ball way worse. And it was a game where I was going to hit 4 home runs, and so 3 at bats in a row, and then the football practice from Fort Collins stopped. They all came over to watch to see if this 4th home run would come, and everybody was around the stands, and everybody's watching, and the pitcher really just messed up and threw just the fattest pitch, and I popped it up. But I remember that as being one of the funnest times of one of the memories that I can remember playing.
So a 3 home run game, not a 4 home run game.
No, the 4th one was there. It was the easiest pitch to hit, and I didn't do it.
The 3 home run game at Colorado State, pretty good way to finish it for a Wyoming Cowboy, no question about it. Bill, good to talk to you. I know I even learned more than I already knew. I know a lot of people would appreciate you coming on and explaining your career and giving people some memories of what happened as well. Appreciate you taking time.
Well, Nate, thank you, and you do an excellent job at this. Probably better than any that I've done in the professionals. You do an excellent job. Thank you for letting me share with you.
You bet. Thank you. Bill Ewing joining us in the Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame Spotlight. One of the all-time baseball greats. Appreciate him coming on. Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame Spotlight on SD Sports Buzz tonight, brought to you by the Rapid City Sports Officials, the official sponsor of the Hall of Fame Spotlight, not only on the program, but we also get these guests on sdsportsbuzz.com, and we're building up quite a collection there of Rapid City athletes. Bill Ewing tonight, John Dutton last week, the track and field all-time great Scott Benson, one of the all-time college basketball greats, Barb Felderman, who's still at the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology, still to come in the Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame Spotlight as we continue this series. Dave Strain. We're going to go all the way back. See, Dave Strain coached John Dutton in high school basketball. Dave Strain, we're also going to get Mick Weissop, the last AA Rapid City coach to win the state title. Mick Weissop coming on, former Stevens coach. And we'll grab a few more out. Randy Schleusner, the Fumble-Ruski, the former Nebraska Cornhusker. So a lot more still to come in the Hall of Fame Spotlight. Let's get back to basketball on SD Sports Buzz tonight. Huge game tomorrow night. St. Thomas More and Spearfish in girls basketball. I feel they're both state championship contenders, not state tournament contenders. I think whoever wins tomorrow night could be playing in the state championship and win a state title. Unfortunately, only one of these teams is even going to make the state tournament. We'll start with St. Thomas More's head coach Brandon Kandolin next.
With winter finally here, wouldn't it be nice to have the assurance of an all-wheel drive car? But what about gas prices? Subaru has you covered. Get the road-gripping traction of symmetrical all-wheel drive with up to 36 miles per gallon in the Impreza. If you need more room and more ground clearance, check out the Outback with 8.7 inches of clearance, cargo capacity to rival many SUVs, and 30 miles per gallon highway. Why compromise? See the most fuel-efficient lineup of cars in America at Courtesy Subaru at the corner of Omaha and La Crosse Streets or at courtesysubaru.com.
When it comes to shopping for a used vehicle, you can find good, you can find reliable, and you can find affordable. But it isn't too often that you find all three in one vehicle, except when you shop at Pro Auto Care. At Pro Auto Care, all vehicles are inspected and serviced on-site by ASE-certified auto technicians, so you know your vehicle will be reliable. And they're affordable, too, many priced under $4,000. Check them out at Pro Auto Care, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City, 342-0857.
Every week, you hear something in the news about low interest rates, and some of the talk can be downright confusing or even misleading. How do you separate the hype from the truth? Call Premier Home Mortgage. They can help you refinance your home or help you with that credit card debt. And they'll break it down for you in terms we can all understand and not mumbo jumbo. Give Premier Home Mortgage a call right now at 716-7373 or go online to premierhomemortgage.com. Premier Home Mortgage. Fast, simple, and smart.
It's always something.
You wouldn't take a long drive without checking the oil, gas, fluids, and tires. Maybe you should check your auto insurance, too.
Fill her up? No, just check the deductible.
Talk to your independent agent. We're driven to get you the best rate. Fisher Rounds & Associates Insurance. It's always something.
It's always something.
Fisher Rounds & Associates, Rapid City. Phone 737-7865.
At Dakota Battery and Electric, we don't care. We test.
Are you looking for quality automotive batteries? Check out Deca, Exide, Trojan, and many more at Dakota Battery and Electric. I've found their helpful service exceptional and second to none. Yep, Dakota Battery and Electric. Quality batteries, exceptional service. Deadwood Avenue, Rapid City.
Hang out with the guys, put electrical problems to rest. At Dakota Battery and Electric, we don't guess. We test.
Your sports, your show. This is SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters. Listen to what Pro Auto Care customers have to say.
I go to Tom because he's there for me. I have 7 vehicles on the road on a daily basis, and I know that if something goes on, he'll fix it. He'll fix it right the first time, and if we have an issue with a part, he'll stand behind it. I mean, if we had a part fail that he installed, he'd get the new part and he would install it again, and I'd only pay for it once. Everybody that I know that needs work on their car, I say this is the only place I would go.
Pro Auto Care. Phone 342-0857, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City.
Busy show tonight, SD Sports Buzz tonight with Nate Brown. Glad to have you on board every Wednesday. South Dakota Sports Talk Show on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Kim Talk Radio, Rapid City's talk station. Also streaming online in HD. You can watch us at sdsportsbuzz.com, whether you're around the state or around the country. Glad to have you on sdsportsbuzz.com as well. Coming up, White River head coach Eldon Marshall. White River trying to make the 6th straight state championship. It's an unbelievable run in Class B boys basketball. And they are 19-1 as they get ready for tournament play. Eldon Marshall will join us from White River. Unbelievable run down there. Padraic Duffy of the Rapid City Journal. Eric Lappe, Spearfish girls head coach, straight ahead. Big game tomorrow night. That's what we're focused on tonight, previewing, I think, one of the most anticipated district championship girls game I've seen in a long time. We've had some good girls basketball matchups, and these two teams have done battle over the last couple of years that have had very good games. St. Thomas More has had the upper hand. Well, Spearfish and St. Thomas More doing battle tomorrow night, Rapid City Central. 7:30 start time, the District 16A championship game. It's one and done here, and that's, I think, really why people are so focused on this is, I've said it before, Spearfish and St. Thomas More in girls basketball, I feel, without a doubt, top 5 teams out of the teams I've seen, and I could say maybe top 3, because I think Harrisburg out there at 19-1, they've been pretty impressive as well. But both of these teams out here, West River, so impressive amongst the state contenders, and they have to play each other tomorrow night. And we start with St. Thomas More head coach Brandon Kandolin. The Lady Cavaliers, defending state champs, getting ready for another district title game against Spearfish. Coach, you're 19-1, and I said it right there. You got to play Spearfish to get out of this district. Obviously, very, very tough. You're going to have to beat everybody if you want to win a state title anyway, but how tough is it to get through a team like Spearfish, let alone not at the state tournament, at a district championship game?
It's going to be very tough. It's a team that's played very well over the last couple of years. Got a great group of girls that are coming back. And it's one of those games, like you said, I think that was anticipated, even 2 years ago when they were able to drop down to A, and knowing that they had a quality team, and it was a battle the first 3 times we played, and I wouldn't expect anything different for this matchup tomorrow night.
No doubt about it. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it, me being one of them, getting ready to cover that ball game tomorrow night. And I put it this way, Spearfish, a team that's 14-4, they don't have as good a record as you do, but to me they have size, they can shoot it, they have great leadership with 6 seniors, they just do a lot of things well. What do you think makes Spearfish a good team? What are some of the biggest things you notice?
Certainly the things that you mentioned, having 6 seniors on the team. They've got a couple of great senior players in crossweight especially. But there's everybody that can contribute in different ways. I think that's certainly one of their strengths. They've got girls that are very aggressive and then can take it to the hole and create very well. And then, if you try and take that away, they've got girls on the outside that can certainly shoot and knock down open shots. So, they're a very well-rounded team. They take advantage of any of your miscues, and they're just a very aggressive, strong team, too.
St. Thomas More head girls coach Brandon Kandolin, Lady Cavaliers 19-1, ranked number 2 in South Dakota high school basketball in Class A. Spearfish and a lot of the polls right behind them. Lady Spartans did just lose to Sturgis, but they've also beaten Sturgis earlier in the year. I mean, they've played some tough teams. There's no doubt about it. And you guys have as well. That's the thing. I look at your non-conference schedule. You've beaten some very good East River teams. Well, your only loss, though, is to the Spearfish team. So let's point it out. You beat Spearfish by 2 to start the year. You lose by 11 on the road. I want to get your perspective because I don't believe when people say it's a good thing that this team or that team lost in the regular season. I understand what that means. Well, get a loss out of the way so you can learn from it and maybe get a win in the tournament. But I always think, boy, Coach, didn't you want to win that game in Spearfish too? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's both. You never want to lose, but certainly as that win keeps building up, if they keep building up, it seems there's always that thought of, are you going to go undefeated in that type of sense? And that becomes more of a pressure thing more than you being able to just play the game of basketball. So, you never want to look for the loss. However, sometimes that loss might be that wake-up call, too, that, points out some things that maybe you didn't prepare for or were not ready for and put you back at that drawing board and get you maybe a little more motivated and ready and prepared and both mentally and physically.
Coach, I know that people are anticipating this game tomorrow night. A lot of people have been talking about it. We're having you on. We're having Coach Lappe on the program next, previewing this game. So there's hype. Now, I know your team's not a stranger to this talk and this hype because you won a state championship last year. You were very good even the prior year, on the verge of winning a state title. So you've been on the big scene and on the big stage. But I do want to say, what are you saying to the girls? Because high school girls, you got to keep them focused on the task at hand, not worried about all the hype. Do you kind of have to just keep them zeroed in because it could be a little emotional tomorrow night if things get a little dicey at times.
Certainly a game of that caliber, it's going to seem like it's a state tournament game. Certainly two of the best teams in the state here out in just one district. It's a shame that one of us will have to go home, but, you try and calm them down. You try and make sure that you focus on what got you there in the first place. And, you treat it like another game. It's got to be one of those that you take care of what you can control. And that's, handle the ball very well on the offensive end and, box out very well on the other end and play solid defense. And if you do those things that got you there in the first place, the scoreboard will take care of itself.
How do you feel you're filling the void of Caitlin Duffy? We all know she's gone on and, as a true freshman, is a great leader for Colorado State. How do you feel you're filling that void? Because it is a loss. You have some great players back from last year, but when you don't have somebody like that, player of the year type player, that's going to be a hole. How do you feel that that has been going throughout the year and it continues into the tournament?
Well, I think we filled it pretty well. We've had some young girls that stepped up, certainly having a lot of experience come back from last year and even 2 years ago, just being whether on the team, out on the floor playing, or just in that atmosphere, understanding what it takes to get done. I think that we've done well. We've had some young girls that have stepped up. Certainly, Caitlin's little sister, Kira, she has stepped up and provided, some tremendous things that we didn't know she'd be able to do. One of them is defend, and a Duffy that defends is even a bonus because usually they score. So, there's been other girls that have definitely stepped up. Our lone senior, she will get in there and defend for us and do the things necessary. Maybe not that prolific scorer for us, but certainly you leave her open, and she's not afraid to knock down open shots. But she does all those other little things, and especially she's a great leader. She's one of those that leads by example. So we've had some girls that have stepped up and filled different roles, and I think they understand what their roles are, and that's certainly got to be a key to our success. Everybody knows that they are part of something, and they do their best at what they can do.
St. Thomas More head girls coach Brandon Kandolin. They are the defending state champions. It's going to be a buzzsaw tomorrow night at Central, the district championship. St. Thomas More against Spearfish, 7:30 start time. Before I let you run, I'm talking about this tournament scenario, and I went on a Sioux Falls radio show today, and I said, and I said it open in this interview, I think Spearfish and your club are two of the best teams in the state. We're not going to be able to find out that argument necessarily because only one's going to be able to advance to the region and then possibly onto the state tournament if you make it that far, which I think is pretty likely, whoever comes out of this game tomorrow night. But there's coaches that I've talked to that have said, boy, it would be nice to have a seeding scenario, even a coach like Dave Hollenbeck on the boys' side. I've talked to numerous coaches around the state that have said, yeah, that would be kind of nice to where we wouldn't have to battle necessarily our own district team if these two teams are very high in power points. What's your thought process on that? There's changes coming. Next year they're just going to go regions, and I wonder if this is a slow movement toward starting to seed an actual 1 through 8, trying to get the top 8 teams into a state tournament.
I agree. I think they're moving in the right direction. Certainly you'd like to have a scenario where you can play for, maybe that district title, and now it's going to go to a region title. But, if you're going to accrue power points, I think it should be more that you use those more than just in a region play, just for the region. And maybe some of the schools that are around, do like what they've been doing. Certainly you can play out a region play, but have some scenario set up that, when you do have these 2 or 3 teams. I look back 5-6 years ago when, like you said, on the boys' side, when you've got St. Thomas More, you got Red Cloud and Custer and all those teams that, might have been 3 or 4 of them in the top 10 in the state, and only one gets to go out of the one district or region. Let's play out the region maybe, and then let's look at a scenario that says, okay, if you didn't win your region, maybe you get some type of a challenge game out of another region, or again, like you say, maybe some type of a cross-bracketing, get down to the final 16 teams and then cross-bracket a region, and make it a fair chance for some of those quality teams to really represent themselves and their schools, and and even their region. If you got a couple teams West River here that are solid, well, let's see if we can't get them there.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think it might be something that people should look at, and it may be something now that we get into the region play. We're not going to have district stuff anymore next year. Starting next year, we're going to start having region stuff. I wonder if that's maybe a transition to looking at this. I don't know. We'll have to see how it all turns out. But, the rules are the rules, and tomorrow night only one of you is going to move on. Before I let you run, Brandon Kandolin, I got to ask if this is true or not. I was broadcasting a boys' game last night, and I heard that Brandon Kandolin, one of the best high school basketball players out of Saratoga. I mean, is that in the history of that program? Is that true or untrue?
I wouldn't say anything about that. Saratoga's pretty small, so I don't know that you can gauge my play in Saratoga to anything else. But we had some good runs when I played there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm just trying to give you some love here a little bit. I'm trying to build up your history. Maybe we'll see you in the. Do they have a Saratoga Hall of Fame?
I don't think so yet.
Okay, we'll see if we can get that campaign started a little bit. Coach,
certainly.
We'll see you tomorrow night. Appreciate you coming on. We'll see you. Thanks.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it.
Brandon Kandolin, St. Thomas More head girls coach, and I'm serious about that. I mean, I never saw Brandon Kandolin play high school hoops, but I was told he was a player. He was a player. Has done a great job at St. Thomas More at the Lady Cavalier basketball program. 19-1 again. And, of course, they went undefeated last year. But 19-1, they've had a really good stretch trying to win back-to-back state titles, and the road is bumpy. Starts tomorrow against Spearfish. We'll talk to the Spearfish head coach, give the preview from the Lady Spartans when we come back. It's SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown.
It's always something, that's for sure.
Your homeowner's policy covers a lot, but it may not cover your most valuable possessions.
My baseball card collection.
Talk to us. We'll make sure your homeowner's policy covers the things you value most. Fisher Rounds & Associates Insurance. It's always something.
It's always something.
Fisher Rounds & Associates, Rapid City. Phone 737-7865.
With winter finally here, wouldn't it be nice to have the assurance of an all-wheel drive car? But what about gas prices? Subaru has you covered. Get the road-gripping traction of symmetrical all-wheel drive with up to 36 miles per gallon in the Impreza. If you need more room and more ground clearance, check out the Outback with 8.7 inches of clearance, cargo capacity to rival many SUVs, and 30 miles per gallon highway. Why compromise? See the most fuel-efficient lineup of cars in America at Courtesy Subaru at the corner of Omaha and La Crosse Streets or at courtesysubaru.com.
Delicious food and lots of fun. Quench more than your thirst at Thirsties.
Anytime's a good time for a great time at Thirsties. Come on down to Thirsties on Wednesday night and test your knowledge with Battle of the Brains trivia and enjoy a delicious meal off that world-famous Thirsties menu. Thirsties, 819 Main, downtown.
Come on in and quench more than your thirst at Thirsties. Sure tastes good.
Every week you hear something in the news about low interest rates, and some of the talk can be downright confusing or even misleading. How do you separate the hype from the truth? Call Premier Home Mortgage. They can help you refinance your home or help you with that credit card debt. And they'll break it down for you in terms we can all understand and not mumbo jumbo. Give Premier Home Mortgage a call right now at 716-7373 or go online to premierhomemortgage.com. Premier Home Mortgage. Fast, simple, and smart.
At Mel's Auto Body, we are committed to providing complete customer satisfaction through our repairs, competitive prices, and old-fashioned personalized service. This is Kevin Rohrbach. For 25 years, our family has been dedicated to returning your vehicle to its like-new condition. We use state-of-the-art equipment, highly trained techs, and work with all insurance companies to get the job done right, 100% guaranteed. Remember, you have the right to choose your body shop. We hope you choose Mel's Auto Body, located under the Big Red M on South Valley Drive in Rapid City. Check us out online at melsautobody.com.
In 200, 2.25, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, VP, money, get 200, VP, here, no 75, 275, now 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at McPhersonAuction.com.
Sold it here for $575.
Getting you inside South Dakota sports. This is SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters. When it comes to shopping for a used vehicle, you can find good, you can find reliable, and you can find affordable. But it isn't too often that you find all three in one vehicle, except when you shop at Pro Auto Care. At Pro Auto Care, all vehicles are inspected and serviced on-site by ASE certified auto technicians, so you know your vehicle will be reliable. And they're affordable, too. Many priced under $4,000. Check them out at Pro Auto Care, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City, 342-0857.
For delicious food and lots of fun, quench more than your thirst at Thirsties.
Anytime's a good time for a great time at Thirsties. Come on down to Thirsties on Wednesday night and test your knowledge with Battle of the Brains trivia and enjoy a delicious meal off that world-famous Thirsties menu. Thirsties, 819 Main, downtown.
Come on in and quench more than your thirst at Thirsties. Sure tastes good.
SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Kim Talk Radio, Rapid City's talk station. And on SDSportsBuzz.com, South Dakota's #1 sports website. Live in HD video. SDSportsBuzz.com, where you want to go to catch all the guests that you missed tonight on the program. We put them in podcast every Thursday morning. So after the show wraps up tonight, we get our intern to work, and he puts together the podcast. And this intern is good, believe me. He's really good. Hey, Padraic Duffy, speaking of being good, man. Padraic Duffy, the Rapid City Journal, back on the program. I always try and pick out some really good tunes for you to come in. I always try and get some really good tunes. Now, can you name that tune, Padraic Duffy?
That's Peter Gabriel, Sledgehammer, Nate Brown. That's
Peter Gabriel, but the Sledgehammer's a little off. It's called Steam. You were close. I mean, they all sound the same with Peter Gabriel, you know. But did you like Peter Gabriel?
It's no Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, but it's okay.
Man, I'm just gonna have to go back to Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, but we'll keep moving from here. I thought I might pull that one out. I'm gonna do that every week that I get you on the program. I'm gonna pull out a tune and see and test your music knowledge, because word is you can strum a few tunes together.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm a music fan. I can't play an instrument to save my life, though.
Okay, you're on your way to play some hoops tonight, amateur basketball. Before I let before we hit on that, I do want to hit on this. Tournament basketball, big game tomorrow night. We previewed a little bit last time I had you on. Well, it's come to fruition. Spearfish St. Thomas More girls matchup tomorrow night at Central. I haven't seen a girls tournament game like this, district championship game like this, be anticipated like this. I know last year was pretty big, but this year it seems even bigger. And why, to me, is because Spearfish already beat them once. Am I right? Can you hear me?
You're cutting out on me. Maybe I'm getting bad reception up here at St. Thomas More.
Oh, okay. No, we have good reception at St. Thomas More, believe me. But it's good reception.
When I get inside the building, maybe it'll be...
Okay, you all right?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, now you can hear me.
Yep.
Spearfish St. Thomas More girls tomorrow night. I said I think it's really, really anticipated, and I can't remember a district championship on the girls' side this anticipated for a while, because I think Spearfish already knocked off St. Thomas More. I think that's what's intriguing about tomorrow night. What's your thoughts?
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely highly anticipated. I was just over at the Rapid City Central gymnastics reception in their commons area for the winning the state championship, and of all the coaches and administrators that were there were more than a couple of people asking me about that St. Thomas More Spearfish game. So I'm sure that there are plenty of people around the area that are pretty excited about that one tomorrow night, and I'm one of them. I mean, I wish I could see it.
Hey, I do want to let you know that I've started this campaign with, some media people, some other media people. Since you didn't take my side on it, I had to go over to Sioux Falls and get some of my friends over there to join. I've got some coaches to join in on this to really start this movement toward an actual PowerPoint system of seeding state tournaments. And I know you said you don't like it, you don't think it should happen. I'm telling you, I've got coaches, I've got other media folks on board with me. Are you ready to change course?
I'm not yet ready. No, sorry, Nate. I'm not going to be able to get on board on that one.
Well, I'm not lying about that. I'm not lying about that. There's a lot of people that said, no, this makes sense, especially. We're going to see it in the boys happen as well, because there's some great teams in Region 8 out here that only one's going to come out of here. But it's going to be a textbook example tomorrow night.
That's where you're wrong. There are no great teams in Region 8 this year. That's false.
Oh, is that right?
There's not a great team in Region 8. No, St. Thomas More is good. Spearfish is good. There are some good teams, but there's no great team in Region 8 this year.
So who's great? Who's great in Class A boys basketball?
This year, I don't know that there is a great team in Class A boys basketball this year.
Well, but
there's no Madison with Chad White and Tony Fegan. There's no Platte Geddes. There's no St. Thomas More with Finley and Dewar. I mean, when you're talking about great teams, truly great teams, no, there's not a great team out in Region.
Well, I'm not going through a history lesson here. I mean, I'm just saying there's going to be a great team that wins the state championship, and one of those teams could be out of Region 8. We could get a state champion out of Region 8. Am I wrong?
I think you're wrong, yes.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I don't think Region 8 is going to win a state title this year, boys basketball. Girls basketball maybe, but not boys.
Okay, so let's go back to the girls. This matchup, to me, is a textbook example of district championship between Spearfish and St. Thomas More. I feel they are top 5 teams, absolutely, maybe 2 of the top 3 teams, including Harrisburg in that mix. And only one's going to be going. That's why I'm trying to get to this point of, we're not getting the best teams there.
I totally agree with you that those are two. They may be the 2 best teams. I mean, they may be better than Harrisburg. And Pine Ridge isn't in the same region anymore. That would have really made it interesting if Pine Ridge was still in Region 8, because I think those 3 are. I think we do have 3 of the best teams in the state in Class A West River this year in those 3 teams. But no, I'm not. It does not concern me when you get beat in the tournament. I don't care. If you get beat in the district championship game or you get beat in the semifinals at the state tournament, it doesn't matter to me. Only one team is going to win 6 games in a row. That's the way it works, and I don't really care when you get knocked out of the tournament. That doesn't bother me. I know that there are parents and other people that say, well, I really want my kid to play in the state tournament, but no, that's not my concern.
Well, and here's the thing, though. Your situation is you feel we're getting the right state champion anyway, and that could be correct. I think ultimately you get the right state champion. My deal is we don't get the best 8 teams in it. We call it the state tournament. Let's have it be a state tournament.
It is a state tournament. Everybody starts 0-0 and is in the tournament.
Yeah, and there's, by the way, even in double.
I don't understand how much fairer people want it. You get a chance to win it all. You're in the tournament. The tournament is when you start in districts. I mean, it's a tournament. That's how the tournament works. You can reorder it and make it different. I mean, if that's what you really want to do. But there's nothing wrong with the way the tournament crowns a champion right now.
With the way they crown it, but with the way they derive the 8 teams getting in.
I don't care.
Know that.
I don't care about who the 6th, 7th, 8th best teams that make it to the end are. I'm only interested in having who's on the top of the mountain. There's only one champ. Only one team wins 6 in a row. The rest of it is all. I mean, people can argue about it, but it seems to me to be kind of a silly thing to argue about. Who cares?
I know a lot of programs that think they would make that state tournament and have a legitimate shot if they got there. Would care.
Well, if you got a legitimate shot, then win all 6 of your games.
But they don't have a legitimate shot, and we're one and done. We're one and done out of this scenario.
Everybody's got a legitimate shot. Everybody's got the same shot.
And an easier shot in certain regions, right? An easier shot.
Yeah, that may happen. Yeah.
An easier shot.
But you're going to have to beat the best at some point. Whether you have to beat them in your district championship game or in the state championship game, I guess maybe that matters to some people, but you're going to have to beat them at some point.
No wonder people, think you argue with you. It's unbelievable. No wonder people like arguing with you, man. That is good stuff. That's why I bring you on the program, just for that reason. By the way, let's get into this really quickly. I pointed this out, and I want to get your basketball expertise. I don't know who's coming out of District 4AA when it comes to the boys. I think in the girls it's going to be Central. I think Sturgis is a little salty. Stevens looks not quite where they have been. But so I think Central, maybe Sturgis out of the girls, went into District 4AA, and I don't think anyone else after that. In District 4AA boys, I'm not sure if it's Central, Stevens, or Sturgis. They've all exchanged wins throughout the year. But one of them's going to win the District 4AA, so they'll get in. And I'm convinced that another team will be able to win one of those region games against an Aberdeen Central possibly, and I think they could get in, whether that's Stevens, Central, or Sturgis in that region game that they win. Do you think we're going to get two in the tournament this year on the boys' side?
I think it's absolutely a possibility. Yeah, no, I think Stevens is obviously moving in the right direction, kind of peaking at the right time. And I really like Sturgis with Martin up there. I mean, anytime you got a skilled 6'7" kid that you can put out there, that makes you. I don't care what your record is. That's going to make you dangerous in a 32-minute game. So yeah, I definitely think that Central, Sturgis, and Stevens should all feel pretty good about having a chance of making it to the AA tournament this year.
Do you have a better feel than I do for who wins that district on the boys' side and on the girls' side, for that matter?
I don't have any idea. I mean, if you tell me it's going to be a 1 or 2 point game between any of those three teams when they run into each other, I would believe that. I mean, it really, to me, between those three, anytime they run into each other, it kind of seems like a coin flip to me.
Yeah, it seems that way. And Central on the girls' side seems like they have the edge, but again, Sturgis has been right there at times. Hey, if you're at St. Thomas More, you're getting ready for a little amateur basketball tonight, I just want to let you know, you just said St. Thomas More wasn't going to win state title. You said they didn't have great teams, so don't let anybody take you out up there tonight. I hope they weren't listening to you.
Hollenbeck's eyeballing me right now.
Well, look out, because he's got some elbows, believe that. He's got some elbows. Padraic Duffy, appreciate you coming on. We're gonna continue this debate, and I might have to do a little conference call with you and myself and a guy like Craig Maddock. We might have to tag team you so we can get you sensible on this seeding situation.
I'm all for that idea. And if somebody from Region 8 does win state title this year, I will be the first one to be at the pep rally when they get back.
I'm going to hold you to that. Right. That's good stuff. Thanks, Padraic. We'll see you.
Yep, take it easy, Dave.
Padraic Duffy, Rapid City Journal. Boy, he's just adamant. He's just adamant, thinking that just because we get the right state champion, which I agree with, he's adamant that it's okay if a team has an easy road to the state championship or to the state tournament. And believe me, the reason that it makes a difference is when it comes to where they're at in the bracket. Sometimes whoever gets that number 2 seed or number 1 seed, whoever that may be, could have very easy road. If there's some teams that come out of weak regions and they're on the same side of the bracket matching up against a team that's fairly solid, okay, or teams that come out of weak regions and they're on the same side of the bracket, they could have 2 easy games to get in a state championship. And ultimately, do we get the right champion? Yes. Do we get the right teams in the champion tournament action? No. We just don't. And I think there's a movement towards doing that in basketball when it comes to, now they're getting rid of the districts. We're just going to do region tournaments. So why not start taking it a little bit further? You have to work out the scheduling when it comes to class and all that stuff, because that gets a little sketchy. Because you got a lot more games that are possibly going to have to be played rather than in football. So you got to work out the scheduling scenario, but I still think that's the way we need to do it. And the reason I say that is because we have good representation and good teams out here West River. especially when you look at Class A girls, Class A boys right now, and not all of them get to represent. And then you only see St. Thomas More or somebody like that. Those are the only teams you see when there's more better athletes and better basketball out here than people even realize throughout the state. It's not equal representation. It's dominated by East River mainly, and some of the teams that get in aren't up to speed. And teams left at home, whoever loses that Spearfish St. Thomas More girls game tomorrow night, left at home, when they're ultimately a state tournament team that could get on a little bit of a run. They shouldn't have to play each other in the district championship. They should play each other in the state championship, and that's the scenario that we want. Padraic Duffy adamant that he doesn't care. We'll keep that one going. Believe me, I just feel that they did it for football. They started seeding them for football, and it's been a good thing. We've gotten the right teams deeper into the playoffs and had less blowouts. Coming right back, Eric Lappe, Spearfish head coach on the way. Eldon Marshall, White River head boys coach. A lot of hoops tonight on SD Sports Buzz tonight.
It's always something, that's for sure.
Your homeowner's policy covers a lot, but it may not cover your most valuable possessions.
My baseball card collection.
Talk to us. We'll make sure your homeowner's policy covers the things you value most. Fisher Rounds and Associates Insurance. It's always something.
It's always something.
Fisher Rounds and Associates, Rapid City. Phone 737-7865.
Every week, you hear something in the news about low interest rates, and some of the talk can be downright confusing or even misleading. How do you separate the hype from the truth? Call Premier Home Mortgage. They can help you refinance your home or help you with that credit card debt. And they'll break it down for you in terms we can all understand and not mumbo jumbo. Give Premier Home Mortgage a call right now at 716-7373 or go online to premierhomemortgage.com. Premier Home Mortgage. Fast, simple, and smart.
With winter finally here, wouldn't it be nice to have the assurance of an all-wheel drive car? But what about gas prices? Subaru has you covered. Get the road-gripping traction of symmetrical all-wheel drive with up to 36 miles per gallon in the Impreza. If you need more room and more ground clearance, check out the Outback with 8.7 inches of clearance, cargo capacity to rival many SUVs, and 30 miles per gallon highway. Why compromise? See the most fuel-efficient lineup of cars in America at Courtesy Subaru at the corner of Omaha and La Crosse Streets or at courtesysubaru.com.
Well, it started out down a dirty road. Started out all alone.
South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Welcome back in. SD Sports Buzz tonight with Nate Brown, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Kim Talk Radio, Rapid City's talk station. Also live in HD video on SDSportsBuzz.com right now. Go to SDSportsBuzz.com tomorrow morning, not only for your complete tournament rundown and analysis. If you're a South Dakota sports fans, SDSportsBuzz.com, where you want to go every day, but also to listen to all the guests that appear on tonight's program. It's been a busy show, and all the guests will be in podcast form tomorrow morning. We had Brandon Kandolin, St. Thomas More coach on, Larry Luitjens, Custer boys coach tonight. Some good stuff when it comes to hoops because tournament basketball really upon us right now. The girls' tournament continues, a district championship matchup tomorrow night that I'm looking forward to covering. We got the St. Thomas More perspective. Now we'll get the Spearfish perspective. The Lady Spartans 14-4. First-year head coach Eric Lappe on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line joining the program. Coach, good to talk to you again. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. And we talked all the way back when you got hired. This off season, and you've obviously had a great year. 6 seniors on your team, and a 14-4 record. Right where you want to be in a district championship game against the defending state champs. How do you feel your first year has gone? How have you liked being in Spearfish, and did you expect to be right here, tomorrow night?
Well, the community's been great. Everybody at the school has been great. Parents have been great, and the kids have just been absolutely awesome to work with. The girls have surpassed my expectations. They work hard every day and do everything that's asked of them, and sometimes a little bit more. And I'm very pleased with how we've progressed through the years as the year has gone on, and how we have gotten better every week and learned from every game, whether it was a win or a loss. And we haven't really looked back too much. We've always kind of kept our eyes forward and focused on the next opponent in front of us, and that's what we're trying to do now. And like you said, you don't always get not every day is an opportunity to play the defending state champs for a district championship. So it's exciting, and our kids are ready to go.
Eric Lappe, Spearfish Lady Spartan head coach on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line, previewing tomorrow night's game against St. Thomas More. Is pressure on you guys, Coach? I mean, do you feel that at all, or because you beat St. Thomas More by 11, that's their only loss of the year. How do you deal with the pressure? Is there pressure tomorrow night for you guys to win this game?
Well, there is some. There's anytime you play for any kind of championship, whether it's a conference or a district or a state championship, there's always some pressure that comes with that. But I think, too, St. Thomas More has had such a great run here for a number of years now that they are the king of the mountain around here. And until somebody can actually kick them off the top of the mountain, I think they're the favorite. And so we're just going to play our game and try to be loose and see where the chips may fall.
You had a great game, as I said, against St. Thomas More up in Spearfish. You beat them by 11, held them to 33 points. That was one of the highlights, and you've had a great stretch here. You've only lost a couple of games in your past, 11 games. So one of those losses, though, was just moments ago last weekend against Sturgis. You only scored 29 points. What happened there? How do you come out of that? I mean, you obviously came out of it and won your first-round district game, but a loss going into the tournament. What'd you learn from it? What do you need to stay focused on?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we just learned we have to be ready to go every night. If you don't play well, there's always that opportunity that somebody can rise up and beat you. And so I think that's what we learned more than anything, is that we have to play loose and we have to play together. And otherwise, we are susceptible just like anybody else is in any athletic competition, really. So, it was disappointing Friday. We had our lowest scoring game, but it was nice on Monday because we had our highest scoring game of the year. So, it's nice to see that the girls could put that game behind them and move on to the next opponent. And so, like I said earlier, they've done a real good job of that all year. I can't say enough about our 6 seniors and their work ethic and their determination. So, like I said before, we're just getting ready to see what we can do against the Cavaliers on Thursday.
Looking forward to it Thursday night, tomorrow night. I'll cover it. And, of course, we preview it here with Eric Lappe, Spearfish head coach. Lady Spartans 14-4 against the 19-1 St. Thomas More Cavaliers. I do want to talk to you about this scenario. Is St. Thomas More lost Caitlin Duffy. You didn't have to, this is your first year in Spearfish, so you didn't play St. Thomas More last year as they went undefeated and won a state championship. They seem like they've filled that void. Even though she was a player of the year, they still have scores. They have some people stepping forth. When you scout St. Thomas More and as you prepare for them, what do you think makes St. Thomas More good?
I think they're very well coached and they're very disciplined. They are not. It's not very often in high school you find teams that don't beat themselves or don't hurt themselves. And St. Thomas More does not do that. Coach Kandolin does a great job with those kids. He really does a good job of drilling exactly what they want to do in every given situation. They don't panic. They make all the plays they need to make. They can win games 65-60, or they can win games 40-38. They can play any kind of style, and that makes it difficult to prepare for. But we like our matchups for the most part. We think we match up pretty good with them. I think the one advantage we might have is we do have 6 seniors. We do have a lot of experience, and they do have some younger kids that are maybe not used to being in this type of situation. So we're hoping that's our advantage anyway come Thursday.
How do you keep your players' emotions in check? I asked Brandon Kandolin that same question because I've been around a lot of high school games and part of the media that hypes up these games, and we look forward to them, and we do that for the fans and the programs and the kids. It makes it a fun atmosphere. This one's hyped up. This is a highly anticipated district championship, and I can't remember the last time I've heard as much talk about a district championship as I have this one, just because you're in the same district and you're both so very good. How do you keep your players to not focus on all that other stuff, just to stay sound tomorrow night?
Well, we've just talked about, trying to not think about it, which is easier said than done. But you just try to kind of distract yourself, whether that's, going to the movies or renting a movie or just hanging out with your friends and just having kind of a girls' night or whatever it might take. Because like you said, there will, the girls know that people are talking about it and that there's been many things said and written, and they're aware of it. But I think it, partially does start with the coaching staff. If we feel tight and we feel nervous, I think sometimes that can trickle down. So we're going to try to keep it loose and try to keep it in perspective a little bit, and hopefully that will allow the girls to relax a little bit and just kind of let their skills and the things that they've worked on all year to kind of take over.
Eric Lappe, Spearfish coach on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Before I let you run, I talked to Coach Kandolin about this. I've talked to other coaches in Class A, namely out here West River. I say, we always kind of get a bad time from some of the East River folks in Sioux Falls and wherever else that, West River basketball, we only see one team in the tournament, and sometimes, you're just not as good out there West River, and everybody gives us a bad time, whether it be in football or basketball or whatever. And I said, if the tournament was seeded differently in girls basketball this year, I think you guys would be a state tournament team. St. Thomas More would be a state tournament team just based on regular season performance. And then on the boys' side, it's the same story. A really tough district, a really tough region when you look at it. When I give you that question of is this the right way to do this when it comes to seeding a state tournament? Having two teams like this, having to battle it out in the district tournament, because one team could be a state tournament team, maybe a state champion if they made that run in the state tournament. But you got to try and win your district first. Is this the right scenario?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think there's been a lot of different talk about how to do it and what's the right way and what's the wrong way. I think, there is no perfect system. I think no matter what you do, somebody is always going to feel slighted in one way or the other. I guess the way I look at it, you can't really help geography. If we were a smaller state where we didn't have to cover quite so many miles and stuff, maybe we could do it differently. I'm not sure that there's anything that can resolve the problem. I wish there was, because you're right. I think there are times in a lot of classes where you have very good teams that just can't get to the state tournament who probably deserve to be there. And it's really unfortunate, and it can be frustrating for towns. I came from Wilmot, where Summit comes out of that region for the girls all the time, and there have been some really good girls teams up in that region that have not gotten to a state tournament because of how good Summit's been over the years. So, it's unfortunate. I don't know, again, that there's a perfect solution for it, but it is what it is, and until they do something a little bit different or somebody comes up with a better idea, it's kind of what we're stuck with right now. So I think the best thing that we can do as West River teams is when we do get to state tournaments to win state championships and play in championship games and really show that there are some really good athletes out here who can play.
Yeah, I agree, and it makes for this scenario now makes for exciting district championship games in late February. Really exciting state or district championship games. Oh, see, that was a slip. That was a slip, Coach. I almost said state championship tomorrow night. What's been your reaction? Some people have said that, Coach, that tomorrow night's game could be the real state championship. I haven't quite went that far because I don't want to disrespect Harrisburg or somebody out there. But both you and St. Thomas More, very good. What did you think when you've heard that?
Well, it's nice to be put into that breath, but even if we do win Thursday night, we still have to win one more game before we're even considering any talk about state tournaments. So, not to be too coach cliched on you too much, but we're really just looking at Thursday right now and making sure we're ready to go for St. Thomas More. And after that point, we'll get ready for the rest of it. And if we're fortunate enough to get to Watertown to the state tournament, we are hoping to leave our mark and have a really, really strong tournament.
Well, Coach, you've had a good first year, and it should be an exciting matchup tomorrow night against St. Thomas More. We'll see you then. Thanks for coming on.
You bet, no problem.
Eric Lappe, Spearfish Lady Spartan head coach. They're 14-4 against 19-1 St. Thomas More. That's the game of the week. Big district championship tomorrow night. That's how we'll wrap up the program tonight. A lot of great guests, including Larry Luitjens of Custer, Brandon Kandolin of St. Thomas More, Eric Lappe, you just heard him from Spearfish, Padraic Duffy of the Rapid City Journal, our Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame spotlight with a baseball legend out of Rapid City, Bill Ewing, a guy who went on to set a national single-season home run record in college baseball. If you miss any of the guests, go to sdsportsbuzz.com tomorrow morning. We'll get them right up there in podcast form. Hope everybody has a great week. I'm looking forward to more tournament hoops. We'll have your coverage every Wednesday on SD Sports Buzz tonight. A lot more guests and interviews and basketball talk still to come as the tournament's just getting started. This hour of SD Sports Buzz tonight presented by Courtesy Subaru. They're at the corner of Omaha and La Crosse Streets and online at courtesysubaru.com. Remember, you can have the assurance of an all-wheel drive car and great gas mileage. Subaru's got you covered. Get the road-gripping traction of symmetrical all-wheel drive up to 36 miles per gallon in the Impreza. Or how about the Outback? Cargo capacity to rival many SUVs, and it gets 30 miles per gallon. See the most fuel-efficient lineup of all-wheel drive cars, the perfect car for the Black Hills. Courtesy Subaru, the corner of Omaha and La Crosse Streets, or online, courtesysubaru.com. We're back next Wednesday, 6 to 8, better than ever. Have a great week and a great night. It's Nate Brown on SD Sports Buzz tonight.
You've been listening to SD Sports Buzz tonight with Nate Brown. From East River to West River, high school to college to the pros. This is your sports talk show that covers it all. Every